Hello and welcome to the Coscosmos video channel. We are an online store specializing in cosplay costumes. You are now listening to our original novel, The Extraordinary Werewolf. If you have any interest in cosplay outfits, you can contact us at coscosmos.com. Now, let's begin the story. Previously, on The Extraordinary Werewolf, Glenn, having finished selling his meat, was on his way to check on Layla and Bonnie when he was stopped by the local police for questioning regarding the recent disappearances of children and the girl's report. He confirmed his identity and the police captain gave him a cryptic warning about the strange and dangerous nature of Bayek Town. Glenn is now outside May's Academy, where Layla and Bonnie are staying, and has just heard a strange noise coming from inside the walls. Glenn is now outside May's Academy, where Layla and Bonnie are staying, and has just heard a strange noise coming from inside the walls. Now, let us turn our gaze back to May's Academy, where the air of scholarly quiet is suddenly shattered by a most unsavory scene. In a spot shielded and surrounded by large trees, a group of burly men in servants' livery were laughing loudly beneath a towering oak, seemingly enjoying some wicked pastime.
Hold them tight! Since they dared to spoil my mood, these disgusting commoners deserve to die! Hang them up and beat them hard!
Among these heavy-set men, a curly-haired young man dressed in finer clothes than the rest commanded the vicious-looking retinue. A thin, gaunt old man and a disheveled girl lay sprawled on the grass, having been knocked down by this cruel gang. The raggedly dressed, skinny old man struggled fiercely, muttering incoherently. He was clearly not an eloquent speaker, often mispronouncing his words, but the curses he spat out were unmistakable. The girl, meanwhile, wept continuously, most of her face hidden by her messy hair, only her muffled sobs clearly audible. Seeing the giggling aristocratic lackeys move to bind the girl, the old man resisted with renewed, maddened force. One of the restraining thugs, caught off guard, took a headbutt to the stomach and cried out in pain.
You damned bastard!
The struck thug gnashed his teeth and rained down a furious volley of kicks and punches on the frenzied old man. It was at this critical moment.
What in the world is going on here?
A fierce roar suddenly rang out, startling everyone present and instantly halting their actions. The men who were about to tie up the girl froze in place, looking around, searching for the source of the voice. The curly-haired young master, momentarily stunned, instantly darkened his face, his eyes blazing with fury. He whirled around and screamed a torrent of abuse.
Come out now! You jerk! Try cursing again!
Glenn's voice rang out from above, causing the flustered men to all look up simultaneously. Seeing a man standing on a large tree trunk, clearly older and larger than himself, the curly-haired young master not only refused to back down but cursed even more viciously.
You low-life scum! Get lost right now! Do you hear? This is none of your business! You filthy beggar who just grovels outside!
Facing such vile language, Glenn showed no anger, only a cold smile.
If you put it that way, I simply must come down and have a word with you.
With that, he leapt down from the tree trunk, towering over the curly-haired young master. The boy glared up at Glenn, still defiant.
You want to fight me? You trash! Do you know who my father is? You was!
His sentence was cut short by the crisp, loud sound of a slap. The thugs behind him had been watching with smug expressions, but their faces froze solid when they saw the curly-haired young master spin 1.5 times from the force of the commoner's blow and collapse onto the side. The air hung heavy for a moment. No one, including the old man and the girl on the ground, could process the unbelievable scene. This man, clearly a commoner, dared to strike young Master Larval, who is a noble. The retinue members thought simultaneously. The bizarre atmosphere only shifted when the curly-haired young master struggled to his feet, trembling. Larval wiped his mouth with a shaking hand. The sight of bright red blood filled his eyes with disbelief. His lips trembled and tears streamed down his face.
Kill him! Kill him now!
Larval's gut-wrenching cry jolted his stunned followers back to reality. They suddenly realized the young master has been struck. They would surely be punished upon their return. The head of the house doted on this young master, The consequences of an injury like this would be severe. Ignoring everything else, their only choice was to capture this audacious commoner who dared to offend a noble and drag him back to take the blame. Perhaps the punishment would be lighter that way. Seeing the burly men rush him, screaming like madmen, Glenn only felt a surge of excitement. He was more than happy to teach these wretches a lesson. To the accompaniment of rising screams and yelps, the menacing thugs were scattered and downed within minutes, clutching their injured limbs and howling miserably.
You are finished! I am going to tell my father! I am going to tell my mother!
Larvel cried, then abandoned his fallen followers and made a swift, unceremonious escape.
Remember this, my name is Glenn Nabanklu, and I live in Bayek Town.
Glenn shouted, making sure the boy heard him before he was too far away. Fleeing, Larvel turned back. His swollen, tear-stained, ugly face showed a venomous expression. He gave Glenn a deep, searing look, determined to etch the image into his memory. At that moment, the bruised and battered old man struggled to his feet, helped the girl up, and called out to Glenn, "Wait." Glenn glanced down at the old man and the girl on the ground, preparing to leap back over the wall.
Wait a minute.
At that moment, the bruised and battered old man struggled to his feet, helped the girl up, and called out to Glenn. Glenn turned back, looking at him with a puzzled expression.
You've offended a noble. They will take revenge. Leave here quickly. Get out of this town. Escape as far as you can.
The thin man stammered, his words slurred as he pleaded. Glenn smiled and took another look at the man, but instead of answering his warning, he pointed at the girl and asked, "Is this your daughter?" However, the old man grew even more anxious. "Kind sir, now is not the time for this. You must run." Glenn waved his hand dismissively. "It is fine, just a noble. I can handle it. You don't need to worry about me." "Oh, really?" the old man stammered, caught off guard. "Absolutely," Glenn said with total confidence. And Glenn was confident. He possessed great power, and the previous owner had dealings with so-called nobles, giving him enough understanding of their nature and the limited power they could wield. The simple, guileless man seemed to believe Glenn's words, and said no more. "Why were they beating you?"
Yes, this is my daughter, Martha.
The man gave a bitter smile. The old man hesitated, then nodded foolishly.
Yes, this is my daughter, Martha.
You are a good father. Glenn praised him warmly.
Glenn asked curiously. However, the old man grew even more anxious. Glenn suddenly asked the girl. He figured since they were at the same school, they might be acquainted.
Kind sir, now is not the time for this. You must run.
Glenn waved his hand dismissively.
It is fine. Just a noble. I can handle it. You don't need to worry about me.
Oh, really?
The old man stammered, caught off guard.
Absolutely.
Glenn said with total confidence, and Glenn was confident. He possessed great power, and the previous owner had dealings with so-called nobles, giving him enough understanding of their nature and the limited power they could wield. The simple, guileless man seemed to believe Glenn's words and said no more.
Why were they beating you?
My son, a noble needs no reason to beat a commoner. I was here to send my daughter to school. We appeared before them, spoiled their mood, and naturally we were beaten.
Yep, these are the nobles I know, Glenn thought with disgust.
Do you know Layla?
The girl looked up, her eyes still tearful. "But, young master, the academy rules state I cannot leave at this time." After thinking for a moment, she sobbed. "I know of her, but she doesn't know me."
"I know of her, but she doesn't know me. She is quite famous in our school. Many boys have crushes on her."
Is that so?
Glenn mused, looking down.
Have you seen her recently?
"Yes."
Yes, the girl nodded.